Simple living doesn't just apply to adults. I grew up very simply, even as a child, and as I look back, I have such fond memories of that. Today, we're going to talk about how simple living apply to all ages. I hope you will stick around. My husband and I have these conversations sometimes about when we were younger. And even though we are the same age, our experiences are way different, even from the year of 1966 when we were born. He grew up in town, he grew up in that Gen X time frame in town where they talk about, the lights coming on and it's time to come home and you were allowed to just run and you just listen for your mom to call. I never had those experiences because I lived in the country and we had a 1 acre homestead and I could go anywhere on that 1 acre and I could hear my mom yell and there weren't any night lights that would come on after dark. But I had the chickens, I had the cows, we had a horse, I had sheep, I had cats, I had animals that were my friends that I grew up with. And so I didn't go a block or two away and play with the neighbor kids, but I had a full childhood. I didn't go to the pool in the summertime. I went one time during the church picnic each summer. That was the only time we went to the pool. He had a pool pass and went all the time. So even though we are the same age, our experiences were so different. When we share and compare those memories, I think a lot of times he thinks that I grew up with less. But in my eyes, I had everything that I needed, and I had a full childhood. I had 3 older brothers. I was the youngest, and they were a lot older than me. They were like 8.5 years older, 12 years older, almost 15 years older. But even though our ages were really spread out, we had one game cabinet that we all shared with board games, and we had one toy cabinet that we all shared. Our houses were not full of toys like you see today. Our rooms were not full of toys. But the toys that we had, we took special care of. So much so that I still have many of them today because they meant so much to me. Because the fewer things we had, the more special they were.
Growing up, we had few games, but one of the most favorite ones that I had was Spirograph. Let me know if you remember having a Spirograph. We also had Monopoly, Battleship, and my husband's family, they played it on graph paper. Old-fashioned Yahtzee and checkers, the best kind, and old-fashioned chess. Let me know what you grew up playing. When I grew up, we didn't get a lot of gifts, but the things that we got were very precious and we took such good care of them. Here's my Sleeping Beauty doll. She came with a little pink bed that has since fallen apart, but I still have her. And my Dawn Barbie doll. She's the only one that I had, and as you can see, she was miniature, but she meant the world to me.
We also grew up with these silly little cheap toys like these hand puppets. This one on the right is from 1969. So now that I've given you a peek into my childhood, let's talk about kids today. People would probably say, oh, kids today wouldn't appreciate any of those things. Kids today need more than that, or they wouldn't be happy. But let me tell you about this last week. I had the opportunity to spend an evening with my almost 8-year-old grandchild and my almost 3-year-old grandchild. And I thought, I wonder what we could do that would be interesting because I want to go and spend some time with them. And I want it when I leave for them to think Nana is fun, right? You hate to go and feel like the old person and they're like, oh, I'm stuck with Nana. So I thought, what could we do? And on the way there, I started thinking about that hokey pokey song, put your right hand in, you put your right hand out, you put your right hand in and you shake it all about. And I thought, I wonder if they're the right age that they might enjoy doing the hokey pokey. So when I got there, they finished their supper. And of course, my almost 8-year-old grandson said, Nana, why are you wearing a hand brace? And what is that on your foot? And why are you wearing a foot brace? And how was your summer? And how have you been? And just talking so grown up and so caring and so respectful. And through the conversation, I said, did you ever play the hokey pokey? He said, yeah, when I was like 2, we did it at school. And I thought, oh, he's too old. And I said, are you too old for the hokey pokey? And he said, no, I'm not too old. So I said, how about we teach it to your little sister tonight? And he said, okay. So it was hard for me because I have trouble standing. I definitely can't dance. I had the boot splint, I had the hand splint, but we got in our little circle and we started singing. I led the first round. It was just simple: right hand, right foot, left foot. And then he said, let's do head and then let's do whole body. So it was very simple, just a few little verses. I found myself out of breath. It was very difficult for me, but I really wanted to have this quality time with them. And then I said, how about you do the next round? So he vocalized the next round. We did it again. The almost 3-year-old granddaughter was having a ball. She didn't know her left hand from her right hand, but she was having so much fun, laughing and giggling. And then when we got to the third round, we let her lead. And it wasn't put together. It wasn't right, left. It wasn't great, but we just went along with it and we all had so much fun. And then afterwards, he wanted to go play video games for a few minutes. And I said, okay, go ahead and turn on the TV for your sister. The whole living room's full of toys. Their bedrooms are full of toys. The downstairs is full of toys. And look what she got to entertain herself. So she has her own little comfy chair, but she took a plastic drawer out of her brother's room, dumped all the dinosaurs out, and got inside with her pillow and blanket. So he was only downstairs about 45 minutes. He came back up and he said, I want to hang out with you guys while you're here. And I thought that was such a compliment. So I thought, what could we do that was fun? We read a bunch of books, we did things like that. And then I thought, one of the things I loved growing up and my kids loved growing up was making blanket tents. Let's make a blanket tent. So we made one between the couch and the recliner. We slid her little soft chair under there, and they played the next several hours in that blanket tent. So I really don't think adults and children are that different from when I grew up. I don't think they're that much different in general, even the ages. Sometimes when we have too much, it is overwhelming, whether it's too many toys, too many belongings. Maybe it is just our environment that has too much in it to make choices about, whether it's what to play with, what to get rid of, what to do with our time, and just pulling out some of these old fashioned, timeless, fun little things that we did together as grandparent and grandchildren. Those are the things that they're going to remember. Those memories that we made are way more than pulling out a toy and playing with it by yourself for maybe the next 30 minutes. So I just wanted to share that with you because I came home feeling so good. I felt like they had a good time, I had a good time, and we made memories. And it's kind of like when I was growing up. I had a good time and I made memories, and they were special memories. Did I think that I had less than other kids? No, because I didn't know what the other kids had, and there wasn't any comparison back then to what are my friends doing this summer and what am I doing? It was only what am I doing? So, a lot of these times we think that simple living is just for us as adults because we are burnt out or we are tired or we are overwhelmed. Simple living can benefit people of all ages. And I just wanted to share some of that with you today. Many of you know that I have been a career nursing home administrator. So, stimulation and overstimulation also affects us in our elder years. That's why a lot of those closed units of people with dementia, they try to keep them low key without a lot of noise, without a lot of overwhelm that can go on because it can trigger that feeling, stress and anxiety. And I think as adults and as children, we can be overstimulated. And a lot of times it's just by our environment or the things that we are doing day to day. So sometimes looking for those simpler things that relax us and bring us enjoyment is key to finding our own happiness, no matter what age we are. Simple living can also help improve relationships, just like the example that I just gave you. It gives you time to build those special, stronger relationships without a lot of distraction. It prioritizes those meaningful connections rather than material items. And by not having all of these extra things, it increases time that you have for the things that really matter to you rather than taking care and picking up and sorting and dusting all of these extra belongings. By focusing on experiences instead of possessions, it also can give us a greater sense of purpose and meaning in our lives. So let me know in the comments below, what are some special memories from your childhood? Did you grow up with a simple life? And did this video make you think any differently about adding some aspects of simple living to the life that you're living now? I hope that these videos bring you joy and comfort. I also hope that they bring you some ideas that spark on how to make your life more meaningful, more enjoyable, and more happy. Thanks for watching today, and I thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you in the next one.